Good afternoon. This is Open Line. We hope everybody is having a great day up to this moment. And Open Line is here to talk about issues of divorce. And the question we are asking is, at what point should divorce be an option? We'll be talking around this. That means we're going to get into issues of marriages, how we're getting to the issue of divorce, and then go all the way into at which point exactly should then divorce become an option. I'm very excited today because I have Judith Mwila from Families and Nations. I have also Steady Divine, a life coach, and Helga Muleya, a marriage counselor. So we're going to be interacting with the three. With you, of course, I'll be letting you know which number you'll be calling us on so that we have a very fruitful discussion over this social issue which is very real. Now, just to talk a little bit about marriage, it's a bond that requires a commitment. That's no secret. Faithfulness should also be at the center. It should be an anchor of this bond. And then, of course, this is amplified by the vows that are the commitment that you as partners make to each other. But then, however, the reality is sometimes this bliss, this love does come to an end. And interruptions are many. They range from, well, marital affairs, financial issues, maybe communication. It just depends on the couple. And others would say extramarital affairs is actually an ancient problem that doesn't seem to end. Why is also something we'll be talking about. And recently we saw that over 22,000 couples have filed for divorce. That means you double that. 44,000 people do not want to be together. And then we ask, why are people increasingly finding it not easy to be together? Or how are they finding it easy to have these extramarital affairs? And the reports of killings as well by, aggrieved partners. Others will call it crime of passion. Others will term it something else, but it's happening in our society. So these are the questions we'll be asking you, our viewers, and I'll be talking to my guests with to make sure that we try and open this and try and see how best we can tackle this and why this is happening in our society. So I'm going to start with issues of statistics. I don't even know who will take it. Maybe I should just go around. Since Teddy is the only guy, I'm going to start from there.
Gentlemen first.
Gentlemen first. You see how ladies have evolved now. We don't want to say equal rights and that are not holding water. Yeah. We're going to start with you. The statistics of divorce, the rate continues to rise. I've been talking about 22,000 in my intro. Now, that's just January 2022. And one of the things that are contributing, highlighted in that issue, in that report by that reporter, was issues of extramarital affairs. Your immediate reaction?
Well, I think for me, the first thing is it's 22,000 reported. We don't know how many cases haven't been reported. We don't know how many people are just walking away. We don't know how many people are just saying Shipikisha Club, and you're just staying in that space. So the number is much more. But for me, my reaction is how many kids are going to grow up in separate homes without both parents, from the 22,000, from the statistics. So the numbers are quite alarming. But I always like to say that divorce doesn't shock me anymore.
Why? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I don't know whether I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Is because if you say you've not made an investment in a business and expecting a profit, is insanity. If people are not preparing for marriage, if people are not making investments in the marriages, why are we surprised by divorce? I know we want to look politically correct and says, oh, chavipa, but there's no investment.
The foundation and all that.
Yeah, and the foundation and all of those things.
Okay. Yeah. Families and nations.
families. The more divorce we have, the less families we have. I must say that the number 22,000 has come actually to graduate what we had last year, the other year rather. So the numbers are bad. There's no two ways about it. They are terrible. It is not a good thing for a small country like Zambia, which has just about 18 million. When you count 22,000 divorces, you are talking about 44 thousand, because you are divorce, yeah. It's almost a population of 44,000 people at that particular time deciding that they want to live separate, and for 22,000 homes broken. Steady talked about the children.
I've got a question on that, the children. But if you see the children again, having to see parents fighting every day.
We're not endorsing that people should. I always tell people that,
because that comment comes as
no. Actually,
I always say to people that, you see, you don't stay in marriage
because of the children. No.
I'm just saying, even if
so
we
qualify
say
your
that,
statement then, so that we are in the same space. Because I got that you're saying
it is secondary. It's secondary.
I mean, you can't avoid, even if it's good that the children will grow up in a healthy environment, but that still will affect them.
Yes,
you know. But
totally.
at the same time, you can't force people to stay because of the children. And I told somebody the other day and said, some of you, your kids will even tell you, they'll even ask you, and you'll be a bitter old woman. They say, did we tell you to stay in that marriage? You understand? So, so I'm just saying that when we are making this decision, I also made a statement. I said to the ladies, I said, marry a man who's willing to commit for the rest of his life. Because if a man leaves you where you are young with 5 children, I mean, a man will go and get married with 10 children. But for you, with 2 or 1, you have to go around convince the whole village.
Difficult.
They do.
No, you asked
I just wanted to say that, children, when people get married, they are not children. Usually, they shouldn't be. Yeah. Well, in the normal circumstances.
In the ideal situation.
In the ideal situation. So they are not the reason people get married.
Yeah.
Children are an addition, and
they are not a guarantee.
No. Yeah. And also they are not a reason to get married as well. Yeah. There are certain people who want to get married because, no, now I'm ready to have children. It's the wrong reason. Because again, those will be very soon getting out and getting divorced because they got married for children and they can't have them. Yeah. So first of all, I want to say that in Zambia, we need to understand exactly what is causing these divorces in our setup, in the Zambian setup. We are an African country. We are also Christian per se, according to, although Christianity is actually practical. Yeah. It's a lifestyle. I don't know if we see it, Pastor. I don't know if we are living it. We have. It is a practical situation. We have to see that Judy is a Christian by the way she lives. Amen. So is that what we are seeing? Yeah. And then secondly is that we have too many marriages happening through the churches, through the courts, traditionally. My question is, are these marriages at the time they are being tied, at the time the notes are being tied? So you
hit on foundation as well, is
exactly. That's very, very critical.
Let's get to hear from Helga. Helga, when you had this figure, when you saw this, when you hear this, what is it for you? What does it say to you?
You see, it's really alarming and unfortunate at the same time because, we look at this as a joke. Some people take it as a joke, but it's very serious. The impact or the effect that it has on the people, the children, and just the community, you see, and the nation as a whole. It's very bad. It's a very bad picture that it is painting to marriage itself. Marriage is a very good thing. I always tell people to say it's a very, very good thing, but then people don't take it with the seriousness that it deserves. You see?
When you talk about seriousness, it makes me think, why are then these couples running to the church? I know Mashina mentioned on the issue of, the types where, there's the traditional, others go to the church and whatnot. But a lot of these, regardless, you see them just running to the courts and just wanting it
broken.
Yeah, well, not knowing, of course, if some have gone through the church counseling and gone back there and it has failed then. But the rush to the courts.
Marriage is it's like a building. We can liken it to a building because when you begin a home, you're actually building a home. Yeah. So to every building, there's a foundation. And if you overlook the foundation, you want to start building on top, you leave the foundation, definitely that building will not stand.
I want to believe our culture is very rich in trying to mend a very cemented foundation.
It is
you,
rich.
The marriage counselors, are you telling people the correct things?
Of course, but again, it also matters who counsels you.
Yes.
Even in the marriage, among the marriage counselors, there are people who have wisdom that they just get from the neighbor. Wisdom that of course they are there. Of course they are there. They are there. But then somebody must be told about the importance of building a firm foundation. It is not just about who's got the money or who's got what, who is what. You see, marriage is more than that. It is more than the wealth. There's more to it than even just sex itself. You see?
course.
Even just sex itself, it's not marriage. So we need to tell the people the importance of understanding exactly what is marriage. You see? What is marriage? And then the biblical foundation. We cannot talk about marriage and leave out God.
No.
That is impossible, because God is the one who initiated marriage in the first place. So you cannot pick on something which you did not make, you did not produce that thing, and then you want to use it without consulting the owner.
True.
You see?
Very true.
Even the producers or the manufacturers of things, they give us the manual. So that we go through the manual, we see what is in there. You know how to use that thing. So the same applies to marriage. If you leave out God, definitely your marriage will not be founded on a firm foundation, because He's the one who knows how to go about it. So consult Him in the first place. He's the right foundation.
Okay.
Yes.
And for families and nations, I know regardless, a family, the anchor, or is it the most important unit, is the issue of love, isn't
Exactly.
it? Do we have love left in our societies, in our families, so much that, because there's many times that, you know, when something's going wrong, you put people together and you talk about it. All that is it's coming from a place of love, I would want to think.
Yes.
And do we have this love still existing then?
The love is there if people want to find it. It is there. But I think most of the time when people get so agitated that they decide out, they don't even look for love anymore. They don't give it. First of all, love is reciprocal.
Yes.
So I give, you give. So you can't always be the one giving and you are not receiving, and you want to stay. And I think these are some of the reasons people have given. I've been talking to people, to couples. I've been actually finding out what are they saying about, and they are saying that, Mom, you know, the marriages are not meaningful. Meaning that we have reached a stage, unfortunately, where certain people take marriage as a disposable asset.
Are they taking it very lightly?
Very.
So that they, you know, they think that they can get married today.
Taking lightly.
Yesterday, I was having a chat with about 4 couples, and they were talking about, these are serious Christians who were saying that we don't see the seriousness of maintaining marriage when we see even some serious men of God opting out of marriage who are supposed to be mentoring us, men and women of God. And so they are saying that, Auntie Judy, you keep telling us that, you know, it's godly. Marriage is actually godly. It is a way of worshiping God to be married. It's a worship. It's a place where you must worship God with your marriage, and that's why it should be very good. It's supposed, and God has given us the everything it takes. He has given us the material, the bodies. He has given us so that we can, you know, please each other in marriage. He has given us children so that we can add value to the marriage, because children is a value addition, really.
Pastor Steady, I want you to bounce on this one. I want you
it's
to
a value
respond to this
addition.
one.
When you got
men on the
married,
pulpit, men in church.
yeah, when you got married, you didn't have children, and the children came in to just add value to you. Marriage basically is between the two of you, and that is why even when family come in, they are supposed to support you. They're supposed to give you, they're supposed to give you backup and make sure that in whatever you are doing, they give you guidance, they give you support, they help you to survive in the relationship. It's an institution. You are going there, you've never been married. You are going there, like my sister said, that people should understand it. What am I going into? I'm going to get married. What is it? What do I need to go into marriage? It's like a battle. You need a gun, you're going to have a knife, you're going to have what. This is what us as counselors are helping you to equip you. When you are married now, this is going to happen. This is what you are going to use. This will happen.
So for you, what has gone wrong?
What has gone wrong? First of all, people are not seeking serious counseling. People are doing the shortcut. They are getting married as if they are late. It's like if they don't get married this month, something's going to happen. So, and they can't wait. I have heard from parents who have said, this child wants to get married, but we are trying to get them. Could he wait? They don't want to wait. So they are rushing. Excuse me. And secondly, people are not preparing for what the things of marriage. It's an institution, as I said. There are things that are coming. In Bemba, there's a saying that why ingira mumushito so it's you don't know what you're going to find. Yeah,
explain it to him. So for the rest of the people who are
even in the Eastern Province, actually, it's there to say that, you know, when you are going into a place, you have to be ready. You don't know what you're going to find. we will tell you, as a marriage counselor, I will tell you, one day you will differ with your husband, but I will not tell you how it will happen. I will not tell you if he will beat you, or because I don't know how. But what I know is that there will be a difference. It is normal, because they say, there are two trees, they will always rub against each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you that, but I don't know whether the wind is coming east, west, south,
or what will cause it.
Yeah,
but
what will
she
cause
said
it.
something steady, where she was talking about the issue of love is coming from even a biblical version. She also spoke about it, where now you have even the clergy themselves getting into an issue of divorce. So if the person who's supposed to stand in front of his flock
and
to tell them and
you.
strengthen them and give you hope and inspiration, is also saying, where then do the sheep go? What's happening there?
I think the other thing I wanted to say is, I think you brought in the question of love to Auntie Judy. I'll start it from that perspective. I always say love is not enough to keep a marriage together.
What is enough?
The Bible says through wisdom, a house is built. And I've always said this over and over. There's too many unintelligent, unintelligent people getting married. So you feel the love is going to sustain the marriage. But there has to be even conflict resolution. It means that both of you need to have brains that are working.
Exactly.
You understand? But unfortunately, we move into marriage with the butterflies. I feel, this is what I feel. It's not about how you feel. Is when the butterflies are not there, are you able to sit together and reason and work out there?
Does maturity play a role?
Definitely. So if you are marrying someone who's not mature, and I like to say that maturity does not come with age. Sometimes age comes alone. You can have a beard and still have white hair. So I think with the clergy also getting into these things, one thing that is very critical is that the anointing, whether you're anointed, whether you've got a degree in theology, it doesn't mean that you have a successful marriage. So it means that the same rules that and it's not just the clergy, it's Wanachimbusa, it's life coaches, everyone, all of us are guilty. We are on this list. It's because we are not applying the wisdom that is needed. But for the men of God, the expectation and the standard is very high, because you are representing God. If that is not done right, then it affects the flock. But also to encourage the flock is that each one of us should have our personal relationship goals. You cannot use my marriage goals as your personal goals. Learn, get inspired, but don't quit. Like what Aunt Judy said, the women are giving up hope. Don't quit. I always tell people, I will not look at somebody who's quitting a marriage or with a bad marriage to say, then I'm not going to be inspired about marriage. I don't know if they've made the investment or not. Maybe that pastor preaches the word, but he's not applying the things he's preaching. He's not going back to love his wife, is not staying committed, and is not staying loyal. So it's a difficult space, but all of us need to come to a place where we navigate and have an understanding that you don't go there because I'm a man of God, then it's going to automatically work. Like we've got incentives from heaven to say your marriage is going to work. It doesn't work like that. So you will put in your best, and this is why I tell people, marriage is mutual. No matter how much I love you, I can everything with my heart, my liver, and everything. I've
heard people say, "I'm carrying a love for both of us."
Exactly. Even if I carry the love for both of us, Judy, it doesn't work. It means you and I have to bring, you bringing 100, I'm bringing in my 100, and we're making this marriage work. So if I say I love this woman, I don't want to give up. If the woman doesn't want, now love me by force.
It won't be like that. You are watching Open Line. We are talking issues of divorce. At which point does it become an option? Get interactive with us. You will see the number that you're supposed to get interactive with us scrolling on your screen. But if you have an issue with your eyesight, like some of us, 25, 30, 25, just get to that number and you'll be live with us in studio. I'm having a conversation with Judith Mwila, Steady Divine, as well as Helga Muleya, and that we are talking this issue. Now, before we even get to the next question, hello kids, will you talk to us? Hello?
Hello?
How are you? Talk to us. You're through to Open Line.
Yes, I'm through to Open Line, Judy. Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for bringing up this wonderful topic.
Appreciate. Talk to us.
Yeah, this is Walia.
Yes, Walia. Go ahead.
Yes, I think to my own understanding, divorce can be an option if somebody commits adultery.
Thank you very much. You are reading my mind. We are about to get into that one. Thanks, Walia.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So, Helga, I was coming to you before we even talked about that. Issues of, how, depending on when people get married, others get married very young.
Mm-hmm.
So we have these young couples. How does it make you feel when you hear issues of commitment issues, extramarital affairs? That's what Wale is talking about as well.
Yes.
But for you, from a marriage counselor's point of view?
It definitely doesn't feel good. It feels very bad to see, especially young people like us, divorcing. You see, because like I mentioned earlier, marriage is very good. So when you enter into marriage, you must understand that it's not all roses. You see, there are things that happen, like Auntie Judy mentioned here. But then it is not everything that should lead to divorce. Even if somebody commits adultery, like Walia has put it there, even the Bible says, unless
they can't forgive each other.
Exactly. That's
They
what I
can't
wanted
go past
to say.
it.
If they cannot
you
forgive.
cannot forgive,
So it's not a reason, but unless they can't.
it's an option.
It's the only
Yes,
thing.
but you cannot base your divorce on somebody's infidelity. To say no, because he committed adultery or she committed adultery, then we have to divorce. If within you are able to forgive and forget
and move on,
then you can still stay with your partner. But then if you feel, I will not forgive this person, that is the reason why the Bible says on that you can divorce on such grounds. But divorce, for me, divorce is not the last, or it's not the best solution. It is not the best solution. Yes, you can still seek counsel. You see, that's why we have counselors. You can still seek counsel. You can still seek the face of God. God can help you to forget about that infidelity, you see, and then move on. You should also understand to say my partner is not perfect, just like I am not perfect. We are all not perfect, you see. But then your imperfection, again, as a person, should not always lead you into sinning, to say no, because I'm imperfect, then I can do it, and then my partner should understand to say ningalakwe. No,
There's also it's a very common phrase among the men.
Yes, there's also self-control which must come into place. Infidelity is about sex, not so.
Not always. Not all the time.
No, okay, yeah, not always. When we say he committed adultery, they committed adultery. What do they go? What do they go to do there?
Accommodate Levis then. Hello, Mavis, how are you? Mavis, how are you? You're through to Open Line. So Mavis, do me a favor, move away from your TV set or reduce the volume so that you and us can chat properly.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm calling from Kitwe, but I will hide my name.
No problem. We'll call you Kitwe.
Yes, Kitwe, yes. I have the problem with my wife.
Okay.
She's a teacher, and me, I have a business with her. But now the time I was marrying her, okay, let's explain it in Denver, sorry.
No problem. Go ahead. We'll translate.
Yes, abasiasi bakolalira ombere kwaki bakalelongana kutekimeawo. And then accept that no, takapukire muri bena kutekimeawo. Twawukana n'okupana twakwatana abaana batatu. Bapopa kukitabala inente sorry. But not twikala n'abaana batatu almost 15 years. Now, communication yaliba difficult. Communication yaliba difficult na bena basi baraba kwebati. But it's not all that stuff. But I understand. So I realized that, you know what? You cannot think about it. Put it to us, put it more and take me, no, I never can. So I need the serious advice. Yeah, what I put it to a counselor over the top to one of because another Mututo, two are common over. Now to I tell them to 15 years. You don't have my problem. You don't have my problem. So, divorce. Put it out, good person. Uko akwiri kyako. Ego tapanyule konko munanke. musireke akutana kutana nga friend of me.
Okay. Twatotela. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the issue of 15 years in marriage,
so there's the issue
3
of
children,
religion,
there's the issue of religion.
Lack of effective communication.
In fact, it's yes, which church someone wants to get to.
Yeah.
They've got 2 different churches, but it's been a long time, and they don't seem to be
15 years.
These
15
are
years.
other issues that
I want
we
to,
neglect.
to pick out something from
Yeah.
this caller. First of all, religion is a personal decision. People decide which church they are going to before you even get married. There are certain instances where the couple may agree to move to one side to join the husband or the wife, and people have agreed properly, and they have lived very peacefully, one joining the other one's church, because even marriage itself is usually conducted in a church. So we don't know here whether they went to Watchtower or to the Catholic Church, but whatever the case, those are things that have got to do with personal conviction. And as a couple, Pastor Seti talked about bringing 100 and 100, but it will still be equals 100. We will not have 200, meaning that we are supposed to marry our interests so that we can live as one. The Bible tells us that two become one. It's the only time when mathematics is wrong, when you add 1 + 1 and still remain with 1 in marriage. So what does that mean? It means that whatever my wife or my husband is doing, we should be peaceful together. We should appreciate what we are both doing. You may be 2 different people, but at a certain point you need to talk as one. And that's why in a marriage you find that decisions should be made together. Wife and husband must agree before they go out there and say, we have decided this. Now, when there is that unity, that oneness disappears. You find issues like, this one is Watchtower, this one is Catholic. The oneness is not existing there.
Let's get to hear from Andrew Tembo, who's on the line. Hello, Andrew. You're through to Open Line. Talk to us. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And
Talk
how
to
are
us.
you?
No, we're good. We're fine, thank you.
Yes, this is Mambo Tembo from Kitwe.
Kitwe is really calling us. Thank you so much, Kitwe. Talk to us.
Yes, please. Firstly, I wish to thank all of you and you, the presenter, and the panel that you have.
Thank you.
Assembled. And I just want to firstly register my disappointment that on programs of that nature, you needed to have as well invited people that have actually encountered the divorce subject matter that you are discussing. Should have been a man who has gone through a divorce, should have been seated there. A woman who has as well either been divorced or divorced should have been there.
Have you heard the man who's gone through it?
There on the panel?
Yes, please.
Who is that one who has gone through divorce on the panel?
Can you see his hand up?
I'm not watching because I just...
okay, no, there is one. There is one.
Okay, great. It's beautiful. It's beautiful that there's one who is actually going through that encounter of divorce. I've divorced before. And experiences are not good post divorce, especially the kids. The kids are the most affected because there comes a time as they grow in their old life that issues that they present to the parents who are in separation. They are living their ways. The other one is the other side. The other one is the other side. But children at some point have to be with their father. At some point they have got to be with their mother. So just that divide which exists for the children is actually really not fair. But like that pastor there, the gentleman, the way he said it, that divorce comes not simply because of nothing. That divorce you can't rule it out. It happens. And the so-called love that people talk about, that no, I love you, it's and the issue of children, no, we cannot divorce because of the children and so on. Not at all. Like Mama Judy as well pointed out there, marriage is not about children. Marriage is about the two people. In fact, the word itself, marriage, if you look at it, there is that first component which is mar. To mar is to mask. To mask means to hide the you as you the two of you when you come. Either, your characters as individuals must be masked. But if you bring your characters as individuals in marriage, those are the characters that are actually responsible for causing incidences of divorce. Because some people say, me. That is the character of the individual before marriage, bringing it into marriage. And doesn't work like that. And of course, the Bible
as much as Atembo, as much as I'm enjoying a conversation with you, our phone is also blipping. So in summary.
Okay, in summary, divorce shall always be there.
All right, thank
the
you.
nature of man. Divorce
All right,
shall
thank you.
always be there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nature of man.
I always tell people God hates divorce, but he doesn't hate divorcees. And that's where the problem we have when it comes to marriage. And I'm glad he brought out, even before him, the gentleman who said, the Bible says two cannot walk together unless they agree. So both of you can be Christians, but still not agree.
Yes.
And the marriage is bound to fail. And of course, I didn't want to go ahead of you to be able to talk about the situation that a lot of people go through. I mean, it's been 10 years I went through a divorce. Now, it's been 10 years. We have an amazing son. He just passed to go to grade 8.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, but I always tell...
that's really something. Congratulations.
But I always tell people that if I would have never become the man that I am today if I didn't walk away from that marriage. That divorce saved my life. Now, a lot of people will have a different understanding. And this is why every time I coach people and I counsel people, I tell people some marriages will work, some marriages will never work. It is not our job to use scripture.
But at which point? At which point? Because I know, Mashina here has talked about the issue of there are some times where it reaches a point where you just say, okay, it's all right, which I'll bounce to you as well, the two of you. But when you try, which point now is it? All right, now
it's
I always tell people, say some marriages were over before they even began.
Is it?
Yeah, some marriages were over even before they began.
How come?
And practically mine was like that. You understand? Unfortunately, because we always feel like we can be junior messiahs. You can save another person, you can change the other person. Like what you said, my love is enough to cover all of us. I got you, babe. But you don't understand that everyone has got an independent decision. Of course, I got married very young, and I felt like I was Superman. I'm going to conquer the world with this woman. But it's different. People walk in marriage with different expectations, and if you get into a marriage, and now I also want to put a balance, because I don't want people to just say, Coach Steady, Pastor Steady says, let me go. I always tell people, earn your way out. Do everything you can do to save your marriage, but at the point where you've done everything there is to do, the blood is not on your shoulder. No matter, you have given it your best shot. So don't just say, I heard on TV they said I can walk away. Make sure you see Wanachimbusa, make sure you see your counselors, but see qualified ones. Because if you just go and pick anyone because they talk about marriages, then you're just going to land yourself in trouble.
Which are the qualified marriage counselors? Give us the 101s. Helga and Judith. Give us the qualified ones.
So there are marriage counselors that should not even be parading these platforms. A lot of them that are really giving us confusion around there, and the people that are getting interested in marriage are thinking like, no, it's not a place to go if this is what I'm going to find. So those don't belong in that platform, and they should stop using the word counseling or marital counseling as a password for themselves. Let them stay where they are, and let them go for marital counseling themselves, because they need it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So a good marriage counselor, first of all, must be an example themselves. The best way to counsel, to mentor, to teach is to be an example yourself as a teacher. As a pastor, you need to live what you do. This is a calling. Counseling is a calling. Counseling is not, you don't, even before you go to school, if you're a counselor, it will show. You know, there are people who have said they have had to go to school. I didn't go to school. My counseling is God-given.
It's like what you were saying.
I was just born
thinking he's getting into that.
No,
Exactly.
yeah, and
But-
then,
but- but
Superman,
you
you
see, I
see?
always tell
So-
people, I like what she said. I always tell people I was trained to be a relationship coach, but I would trade what they gave me in school to be a relationship coach to use my experiences to teach people.
Yes.
Because nothing teaches better than your wounds and your scars. So
the experience is the best
you
teacher
know,
as well.
You know, evaluated experience. So if you have somebody who's like what she said, just to add on to what she said, someone who's seasoned and they understand and they do it from the core of their heart.
Yes.
That it's not a business. I
No.
am here to help
Passionately.
people.
Passion.
You know. So
when people walk to you, they come to you and they start talking about, we are contemplating divorce because of A, B, C, D, and this is the point we've reached. What is it that you tell them? What is it that comes through in the conversations?
First of all, you have to look at the situation at hand. When somebody comes and says, we want to divorce, of course there are reasons. They'll give you their own
They have
reasons.
their own
Yes,
reasons.
this one will bring up. So as for me, what I do is I look at the reasons. Is this really a valid reason for someone to walk out of marriage? Because there are situations where there are problems, there are challenges that can be sorted out. You see?
Sure.
Some are not even problems. They are just challenges. It's just a challenge that you have been faced with, and it can be sorted out.
So recently,
So
of late,
now-
what are some of the issues that have been coming out the most? I know from the article we're
That
talking
list,
about that
yeah.
we're basing on, the 22,000, the one that has come out the most is extramarital affairs.
Yes.
We're not saying it's the only one.
No,
but
no,
it's-
no, no, no.
It's
Yeah.
high on the
It
list.
rates high.
You know it can be high, but then you'll be surprised to hear that they are very, I may call them silly reasons that people will give because of the wife's laziness. I want to divorce her. You see, somebody's just lazy and somebody wants to divorce them. No, because when I go for work, when I knock off, I don't find the house clean, so I want to divorce her. Is that a reason? Honestly, is that valid?
What example are we setting them
So
for the
let me
future
tell you,
generations?
Exactly, that's what
But
I
can
want
we
to
avoid
talk
those
about.
conversations?
Yeah, extramarital. Also, we need to look at if the highest cause of divorce has been extramarital.
And I remember
what
her
then we need
stating
to-
a comment on YouTube, it's not the only one. Which
Yeah,
other
yeah,
one?
but
No, maybe
we
also
need
maybe to
go
add
back
in,
and
maybe-
say,
Let's start with family
what
as a
is
nation,
causing-
then we come to you
So
second.
what is causing extramarital affairs? What is causing the men to leave their wives to go and find another woman? What is causing the women to leave their husbands and find another man?
What's coming out?
They are not
Exactly.
content.
So,
People are
so
not
what,
content
we
with
need to
what
look
they
at
have.
the small things so that the big things.
We are
can
dealing
be
with the fruit and not the roots.
Yeah, we should deal with the roots. First of all, what is it that is going to send this young husband?
All three of you
2 years
sitting
in
here
marriage,
in your own
Judy.
capacities.
Ba machina. 2 years. They got married last year, December. This year, December, the other year, December, 2021, December, they are divorcing. What has happened? This is a new couple.
Yeah.
They're still
Yeah.
excited about each other. If they have a child, it's probably just about a year old. So what are they looking for out there? The questions I ask myself as a counselor, what is it that you're not getting? And it's there, they'll bring it. First of all, just after we got married, she stopped cooking. We have to go and eat at Manda Hill. We, she won't wash for me. The maid is the one making our bed. So, these are the things. It's not the extramarital affair. It's the things that are leading someone to
the
go
other
for
person.
another person.
And then maybe to add on
Hold
another.
your thought. Let's talk to John.
Okay.
Hello, John. You're through to open line. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. Talk to us.
I'm calling from Ndola.
How's Ndola? Talk to us.
Ndola is okay. I have a big list of major causes of divorce, but I'll mention just very few.
All right.
And then, So I think that there are a number of things that lead to divorce. What I want to talk about is one of them is the values that people embrace. I think they contribute. If they are not good values, they can lead to divorce. Some people don't mind divorcing. Then absence of preparation is obviously a major one. And false promises leading to unfulfilled expectations in marriage is another one. Then you have talked about immaturity. I agree, it's a major cause. Then we also have people that are careless in their marriage, not guarding it properly. Sometimes they are led to entanglements and extramarital relationships, some form of carelessness. And so maybe with some other people can add to the list. But the question is, when should people divorce? I think that my opinion is that divorce is never an ideal solution. Although I know that some people have defended it, they have acquired some scriptures to support it. But I think that scriptures are being quoted out of context. Divorce is never an ideal situation. And so if you ask me, when should someone divorce? Maybe if there is a danger of someone being killed. But even then, I think that it must be 1 second before you're killed, just to survive the death. Thank you.
Okay, John, thank you so much. Thank you so much, John. We've just been getting callers from the Copper Belt.
What about Lusaka, where the divorces are happening?
You were about to come in before we went to John. Thank you very much, John. Very insightful contributions. Appreciate it.
I think one of the things I wanted to say is, and I said it last week I was here, I said to men, and I charged and I spoke to men, stop putting expensive rings on cheap fingers. I know some women will be very upset with me, but I'm fine with that.
You see how I touched my hand?
What are you doing?
You see, the weight of a ring comes with so much responsibility. This is why in the Bible, I've always said, you don't hear the Bible say that a wise man builds his home. The Bible says a wise woman builds her home.
Exactly.
It's like the weight of the success of a home, and please don't misinterpret what I'm saying, comes on the woman. So when you are marrying as a man, you must be able to do due diligence, vet these women to know whether she's able to keep the home and facilitate the home. They talk about unmet expectations. There's a lot of women that are obsessed about marriage. I'm a single man. And you see, I've been single for 10 years. It's not easy out there because people will pretend they will sell you their representative. You know, once you put the ring on the representative, now you meet their twin sister. Now we don't, not the one. So this is why the 1 year you're talking about, and it's the confusion that this woman,
that's not the one.
All these things he's talking about, how are you tackling them in your different counseling sessions, starting from Helga here?
Yes.
Because when you're building that foundation, which you all agreed on your first statement, how then are you making sure that the twin sister doesn't have that? The sisters
I don't want to separate. You don't want to meet the twin sister.
There should just be this
show
one
should
person.
be 5 hours.
You know, some of these things come from the background.
Yes.
You see, the way somebody has been raised. Actually, we are all shaped by our backgrounds.
Yes,
you
of
see?
course.
Yeah. So the twin sister sometimes hides in the background, right? And then the me, or what did you call it?
The representative.
But we have twin brothers as well.
No.
The twin brothers are
But who pays Lobola?
The twin.
No, the representative. Who wants to be twin? Then
No,
the
we'll
twin
go to
brother
that
comes
debate.
on. We'll come to that one.
The answers to that.
Yes, so you know, when you meet the twin sister is the real you now. You see? How you have been brought up cannot be hidden because now that is reality. You're in marriage. You know?
It has to come out.
It has to come out. The entire you, everything about you must come out now. If you did not know how to cook in your mother's house, definitely it will show.
It will show.
These are the values that
These are the values that
John was talking about.
And these are the most important things that even parents neglect. Parents,
They must be charged together with the divorces because parents
they have
neglect.
contributed so much to the divorces of their children because of the way they raise their children.
But the irony,
And then
irony, I'll get to families and nations. The irony is these values that she's talking about are sometimes the same values that now make you split. Because the background, the twin brother and the twin sister now meet. And they're completely, you
They're
can't
just
agree.
the opposite.
No, you
Because
can't.
they're now trying to get to one thing, and now you just can't agree.
But
So-
I know
but
you're
then-
going to her, but can I quickly jump in if you don't mind? The other challenge is when the process of premarital coaching is to help people get a divorce before they get married. That's a process. You are helping
Unravel
people
it.
split before. But here's what's happening to our communities. Before the wedding, you see things But you know what will happen? Families will say, "Oh, we've already put in the time. We've already booked the hall. We've already invested." The person has seen the representative. And when I tell people, I have no anointing to help people stay in Chipikisha Club. If you will get married, I'm helping you to stay in a blissful marriage. Give people the opportunity to walk away when they see the red flags. So the representative
Whether
you're talking,
you paid for,
yes, just go and, even Lobola, just refund it back. It doesn't, it doesn't change anything. That's what you're talking about. So people see those things, Judy. But you know where the problem is? The peer pressure. Even just to you, because you've already posted engagement on Facebook.
The socialization.
Social media.
Hold your thought. Let's get to Mr. Malumbe. Good afternoon. Talk to us.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Talk to us.
Good afternoon, madam.
Yes. Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me make some little contribution over your topic.
Yes.
I'm an old man, 66 years old.
Well done.
I've gone through so many problems in marriage. So for so many reasons, of course. I lost my wife when I was just a small boy, trying to marry this one, thinking to say maybe she's going to take care of my children. And before you get married, one will promise you to say, I will do A, B, C, D. You understand? Later, as days go by, someone will show her true picture. Then you try to cancel this one, you try to go there. Sometimes you end up fighting. So the only best way maybe one can do is maybe to do away with that person. I'm talking about, for the sake of the children, you understand? So at a time when you really feel, I love this one, and she is going to be the mother to my children, someone brings out, the behaviors that you have never seen. What should we do? The counselors there.
All right.
And I'm just happy to hear from the young pastor who is saying he has been, he's 10 years out of marriage. I'm 66 years old. I reached a point where I decided not to get married. And unless otherwise the madam there, the senior counselor, may find a wife for me.
There you go, you have a challenge.
But otherwise, there are so many reasons that make marriages to break down. I'm only concerned with the way I had wanted, to stay with my wife.
Yeah.
My wife is late. Then I had 2 children. I married someone who I thought she was going to be the mother to my children. You understand? But she disappointed me.
All right.
The only thing I will do for the sake of the children is to do away with her. You understand?
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It really goes a long way, especially for the reality point of view for most of the people who are watching. Not everyone will call, but situations might not be similar, may not be the same, but they're similar.
True.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
And it's good to see people become vulnerable, because I think that's what we need. This is the only way to heal the 22,000.
Exactly.
We can't come here and show our cool side. We need to say, hey, these are my scars. These are my challenges. So, and this is why I think every time we talk about the subject of divorce, is people must be sober-minded. Don't use manipulation to let people stay in marriages. Look at it from both angles and say, how do we, I actually feel guilty because I think we didn't answer the 15 years gentleman, the marriage, but I think because of time, I know it's a lot of questions to take, but I think those are things to be able to handle. Because you see, we may say it's petty, but I think if you stay there,
it's relative. It depends on the person, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think those are some of the things to look at.
It will be good for the 15 years old in marriage and having issues. I mean, that's why we are here. If you are able to, communicate with Judy and get our contact, you could communicate, and we could be able to help you off the screen.
Maybe to also add in to Judy is that the other thing is, people don't want to pay the price. I remember one time somebody says, I have an issue with my marriage. And I said, come to my office. And they said, where's my office? And I told them, says, but that's very far. But you want to save your marriage.
How much are you willing to give?
How much are you willing? And I hope, I hope, and we need to, I tell people, you've paid for a venue for a wedding, 100,000.
Yeah, for one day.
For one day. You want to sit at Judy for days for nothing. Sleepless nights to do that.
The cost at which I tell you.
Make an investment in your marriage.
And in Zambia, very important, Pastor said that she brought this issue.
Yeah.
In Zambia, people don't want to pay. To save their marriage.
Exactly.
It's like it's somebody else's responsibility.
Yeah.
It's your marriage. You decided you were getting married, and you have to do what it takes to save that marriage. And one of the things is to invest, and investing in a marriage is going out there. When you hear Auntie Judy is having a ladies' clinic, come over. You just pay that little 50 kwacha to come and learn.
Stop charging the 50 kwachas, Auntie Judy.
You know, I'm just giving that as because it's the minimum. It's the minimum. They don't even want to pay that. They would rather go to some, they've got all
and I know they'll call us names, but it's
but it's the truth of the matter. They will go and pay for something else that will never bring value to them.
I'm going to start from steady coming this way. So the issue has been, at what point should divorce be an option? So I want 3 words, not sentences, words.
Wow.
Just words. 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 3 words starting from steady coming this way. At which point should divorce be an option? And remember, it's just an option. We're not saying it should be the one. So 3 words.
Work together unless they agree. If you're not agreeing and you've done counseling, it's more than. Now, you see, I can't even explain. 2 cannot work together unless they agree. If you're not agreeing, you know you are entertaining.
Take away point. Work as one and agree.
Put in what you expect to take out. You need to put in what you want to take out. If you want love, put in love. You get love back.
So what you put reflects back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And for Helga?
You can only divorce under severe conditions.
Severe conditions.
Hashtag
severe conditions.
That's a good one.
Very severe conditions. The severe conditions you will decide which one.
Yes.
All right, this has been Open Line. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate those who came through and my beautiful guests as well. On behalf of the entire production group, my name is Judith. Good afternoon.